All right, hello and welcome. You know that feeling when you want to learn a new language, but you just don't know where to begin? It can be kind of overwhelming. Well, today we are cutting right through all that. We are going to build a super practical starter kit with your first 100 or so Japanese words, designed to get you talking from day one. And hey, as we go, really listen to the sounds of the words. That's honestly half the fun. Okay, let's dive in.
Because that's the real goal here, isn't it? This isn't just about memorizing some random list. Nope, it's about taking those words and actually putting them together to communicate with people. This whole explainer is set up to take you from absolute zero to forming your very first complete thoughts in Japanese. So what do you say? You ready? Let's do this.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the basics, introductions. Then we'll move on to just naming things around you. After that, we'll learn how to describe them, talk about actions, and finally, wrap it all up with words for time and place. It's a step-by-step journey to your first real conversation. Okay, first things first, you gotta know how to meet people. I mean, every conversation, every friendship, it all starts right here. The cool thing about Japanese is that it has this really simple, really polite structure for introductions, and it is the most important building block we're gonna lay down today. Think of this as your secret formula for a perfect first impression. Let's break it down. You kick things off with hajimemashite. Just let that roll off your tongue. Hajimemashite. It's the classic opener. Next up, you state your name. Watashi wa, your name, desu. So watashi wa means I, wa is just a little particle that points to the topic, and desu is kind of like saying am or is. And you finish with a super polite dozo yoroshiku. Try it. Dozo yoroshiku. 3 easy steps. You just nailed it. Now, this is a really key part of the culture, honorifics. You see watashi for I and anata for you. But what's really crucial is how you talk to other people. In Japanese, you pretty much never just use someone's name by itself. You always add a little suffix. The most common one is san, which is a respectful term you can use for almost anyone. You might also hear chan for a child or kun for a boy. Getting this right is a huge sign of respect. And here is the perfect example of that respect in action, the word sensei. It means teacher or instructor. So you'd totally use it to address your teacher, like Suzuki-sensei. But, and this is important, you would never introduce yourself as a sensei, even if you are one. It's a term of respect that you give to other people, not something you claim for yourself. It's a small difference, but it means a lot. All right, so we've met someone new. Now what? Well, let's start talking about the world we're in. This whole section is about learning the words to name the everyday stuff that's all around you. Okay, this pair of words is one of the most useful things you will ever learn. Kore is for something that's close to you, the speaker. So if you're holding a pen, you'd say kore. Now, sore is for something that's closer to the person you're talking to. So if they have a book over on their side of the table, you'd refer to it as sore. See? This here versus that there. It makes things so much clearer. Let's start building up our vocabulary. First up, hon. That's a book. Then we've got kasa, an umbrella, and trust me, you'll be thankful for that word in Japan. Next, kagi, a key. And tokei, that's a watch or a clock. Let's keep them coming. Kuruma is a car. Denwa is a telephone. And my personal favorite, neko, a cat. And now you can already use kore and sore to start pointing at these things and naming them. Here's a fantastic little language hack for you. It's a pattern that just unlocks more words. The suffix go basically means language. So you take the word for Japan, which is nihon, tack on go at the end, and what do you get? Nihongo, the Japanese language. You know, the one you're learning right now. It's a super useful rule. So, we can point to people and things. Great. But now let's add some flavor. This section is all about adjectives. These are the words that let you share your opinions, your feelings, and just paint a much more interesting picture of the world. Let's start with a classic pair of opposites. On one side, you have oki, which means big or large, and on the other, chisai, meaning small. So now you can actually describe that cat we just learned about. Is it an oki neko or a chisai neko? See what we're doing? We're already building bigger, more descriptive phrases. How's the weather out there? Well, atsui is for when it's hot. Think of a boiling hot summer day. And its opposite, samui, is for when it's cold. This is perfect for small talk. You could say something like, Kyou wa atsui desu ne, which means it's hot today, isn't it? And just like that, you're having a conversation.
Okay, this list right here is your everyday opinion toolkit. E is good. Its opposite is warui, bad. If you're eating something absolutely amazing, you're going to want to say oishii, delicious. If you had a great time at a party, it was tanoshii. Was that movie you saw interesting? Then it was omoshiroi. And if your schedule is totally packed, well, you're isogashi.
All right, we've got our nouns, we've got our describing words. Now it's time for the engine of the sentence, verbs. This is how we go from just pointing at the world to actually talking about what's happening in it. These 4 verbs, they cover so much of your daily life. We've got tabemasu, to eat, nomimasu, to drink. Mimasu means to see or to watch, like watching a movie. And yomimasu, to read, like reading a hon, a book. See how they all end in masu? That's the polite form, and it's perfect for just about any everyday conversation. So how do we ask questions? Well, this is where the word nani becomes your new best friend. It simply means what, and it is the key to unlocking a whole world of information. Nani o tabemasu ka? What will you eat? Nani o mimasu ka? What will you watch? This one little word turns you from someone who just makes statements into a real conversationalist. And this shows perfectly how we combine nouns and verbs. So, shashin means photograph. Torimasu is the verb to take. You stick them together with the particle o, which basically points to the object of the verb. So, shashino torimasu literally means photograph, take. You're not just saying words anymore, you're describing complete actions. It's awesome. Okay, let's head into our final section and see how this all comes together. We can now describe actions, but when do they happen and where? This section gives our sentences that final crucial layer of context. Let's start with the flow of time, which is beautifully simple with these 3 words. Kino is yesterday, kyo is today, and ashita is tomorrow. And now you can connect this back to everything else we've learned. Kyo wa isogashi desu. I'm busy today. Or ashita hon o yomimasu. Tomorrow I will read a book. It all starts to click together. And if you want to get more specific, here are the days of the week. First, notice they all end in yobi. That's the pattern. But here's the really cool part, a little memory trick for you. The beginning of each word is tied to an element. Getsu is the moon, so Monday is moon day. Ka is fire for Tuesday. Su is water for Wednesday. Moku is wood for Thursday. And kin is gold or metal for Friday. How cool is that? And where are we going? Are we headed to gakko, school? Or maybe the eki, the train station? And how are you going to get there? By densha, the train, basa, the bus, or maybe a takushi, a taxi. These are the absolute essential words you need to find your way around the Japanese city. And look at that. We have come completely full circle. We started with a simple hajimemashite. We learned how to point at a hon and say it was oki. We talked about what we might tabemasu or eat, kyo, today. You really do have all the fundamental pieces you need to start building your own sentences and expressing your own ideas. And that really brings us to the final thought here. At the end of the day, language is all about connection, right? It's about telling our stories, no matter how small they are. So using just the words we've covered today, from introducing yourself to talking about your day, what's the first little story that you would want to tell in Japanese?